Hey there YouTube, Tim here with the Ugly Offgrid YouTube channel, and I was going to make a quick video today on the Datouboss solar system that I was able to get my hands on for relatively inexpensive monies. So with that being said, I'm going to pan the camera around here and I'm going to kind of explain what I've got going on, and that'll probably be it. That's just a video I promised I was going to make, and I'm going to make it. So I got a couple of things I need to do today. I got to work in the garden and stuff, so we'll see about how quickly I get this published. So turn the camera around. Alright, so there we go. So each one of these batteries is 5,100 kilowatt hours. They are 100 amp hours at 51.2 volts each. So there's technically 200 amp hours at 48 volts. That feeds up here into what I call the sketchy area, the Datouboss 12,000 watt inverter. So this is a split phase US 240. So it puts out 240 volts at 12,000 watts. So far I've had no issues with it. I can't complain. It's doing like it's supposed to do. The only issue that I have found, so the battery indicator here always says the batteries are low. Yesterday I had all of these lit up. The batteries were full. They were at 54 volts. Their shutoff is at 58 volts. Their safety shutoff is at 58 volts. So I had them full, and this right here was still indicating the batteries were low at like 53 volts. So I'm just like, I'm thinking there might be an issue somewhere, that it's the settings aren't quite right. So on this one right here, you get your line in, your solar array in, and I don't have none coming in now because I don't have no panels wired through this one. Then you have your output, you know, it says it's coming from batteries through the inverter over to the load, the house. And you can press these buttons here. So I have 7 amps coming off the battery and 1.7 amps on the load side. Sorry guys, I've got some pollen in me. Yeah, so right this second, there's 2 legs. So there's 120 and 120, make 240. So it's flashing back and forth and giving you both loads. So 0 loads on one leg, and on so leg 1 is 0, and flash leg 2 is 0.2 kilowatts. So 200 watts is coming off leg 2, and that's pretty much, that sums that up. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can read the instruction manual. So I do want to say I like the lug size. So the lug size works out really well. So I've got this coming in from the backup generator outside, and I got that going. That's feeding the building. Don't worry about the wiring. I only had a little bit of wiring to work with, so I got to install a ground rod for this, but that'll happen a little bit in the future. It's isolated from everything at the moment, so it's not feeding anything but the radio building, and the radio building is isolated. It's the backup. So these are the 2 legs that come in from the batteries. They come down here. These batteries are in parallel, so I've got 48 volts parallel at 200 amps. Now the solar panels are Temu solar panels, and I got these batteries off of Temu, and I got this inverter off of eBay. And this is the Power Mister solar charger I've had for a very long time. I managed to somehow, I'm not sure how I did it. I think a component failed on the inside and it shorted, but I was able to fix it. So at the moment it's working again, but I got pictures of that. I'll throw some pictures in here of that in a little bit. So but the solar panels I have on top of the building now are the Temu special solar panels. I got 1,200 watts in panels for 400, 500 bucks. It wasn't very expensive at all. I'm gonna walk in this end of the building. I got a fan and air conditioning in here. So the building's in a little bit of disarray, but I'm working on getting it straightened up. It's all a work in progress right this second, you know, because I got that back there. I need to finish paneling this up. I found the leak and fixed the leak, so I got to finish paneling that up, but it's not leaking. So with that being said, see if I can Get my makeshift phone holder here to work. We'll adjust this to get the light out of the eyes. Okay, alright, well, that have to do for now. I gotta get another tripod. So, I got 1,200 watts for 400 bucks, 500 bucks off of Temu. They were on sale. That is 12 solar panels at 100 watts, 12 volts, so they're 24 volt open circuit. I turn this fan down. There we go. And I bought two of those, so I've got 24 solar panels. And what I've done is I have them wired 4 panels each in series, 16 panels on the roof. So I still have some left over. I still have a couple left over. That gives me at peak sun about 1,300 watts at 90 volts. So you get 22, 24. Yeah, so it's about, I'm getting about 90 volts to 85 volts open line or under load going to the building at about 1,300 watts. So, and that's about 23 to 25 amps an hour charging going into the battery. So it's pretty low current right this second, and which is something I built kind of intentionally because I only have small gauge wire on hand and I don't have enough big gauge wire to run from the charge. And the charge controller will only accept like gauge, what is it, like 12 gauge to yeah, 12 gauge to 10 gauge wire. It won't take very big wire in that small charge controller. So I've got to, it'll handle it, but it won't fit the wire. So it's kind of weird. I don't quite understand how it's a Chinese knockoff Power Mr. Charge controller. So some things aren't done right. So what I need to do is I need to, when I had it apart, I should have taken and unsoldered those tiny lugs and put some regular copper ones down there that I can twist some large gauge wire into, so I can hook up some 6 gauge or some 2 gauge alt gauge wire to the batteries. That's a future project. I'll get onto that in a little bit. But right this second, I just wanted to post that video. I was hoping to catch I'm up a little early this morning on Sunday. I was hoping to sleep in until the sun was up a little bit, but the lady of mine and my children got me up, so I'm recording the video a little early this morning, and the sun's not quite over the tree line yet, but when it does, I'll come take a quick picture of that and throw that in there as well, along with some photos I took, if I still have them, of the charge controller sitting on the workbench. So if you have one of those Power Mr. Charge controllers, just FYI, when I went to go hook it up to the 48 volt, and it's a 48 volt charger. It does 12, 24, 36, and 48 volts. It's a multi-use charger, and I read the instructions for it to make sure that model is a 48 volt. It also doubles as a 48 volt charger. There's a little flyback resistor. If you open it up on the very front of the board, down there where the load output is, there's a flyback diode or flyback resistor. I'm not quite sure what it is. It was blown to bits, and but that shorted out and took the MOSFET on the back of the board. You'll see it if yours ever does it. You'll know it. It took the MOSFET out that controls the load, the variable load output for like your little simple loads that connect off your charge controller. I don't use it, but it automatically turns it on when you hook the charge controller up, and it was shorted there on that circuit, and it blew the MOSFET out, and it was just, yeah, it was really terrible. I ended up replacing it with a different kind of MOSFET, but was similar rated because I don't use it. I just needed it there. I'm not sure why, but it has something to do with the charging side of it, or it helps connect up the charging. There's no schematic for it, so I don't know. But either way, I put it back the closest I could, and I removed that little flyback resistor because I don't use that side of the charge controller. It's not needed. That circuit is completely unutilized by me. So I removed it and to prevent future shorts there, and I hooked it all back up, and it seems to be working fine. The only thing I do notice is that when you try to set the regulated output charge voltage, like how high you want the batteries to charge to, you have to unhook the charge controller, and when you hook it back up, it's not remembering your setting. So I think it damaged, and when at some point when it shorted out, it damaged something, but it's still working. So I need to go in there and I need to try to it'll like, it takes a couple tries to get it to set into the memory. So for the $70 I paid for it, it's done a very good job. It's been with me for almost 10 years. So I'm gonna let it slide a little bit. I'm gonna cut it some slack. You know, when you've had something that's worked this good this long, you cut things slack. When I get the sun gets on the panels, I'll send I'll put a picture in this video of the full power output that I'm working with, and that's 16 100 watt panels, series parallel. So I've got 4 in series, and then it's 4 banks of 4 in parallel. And for Timu solar panels, they're doing a very good job. They run in the building. I got the air conditioning on in the building. I run all my radios. I can't complain. The batteries came from Timu. They have the capacity that they said they have. I can run a 1,000 watt load for 10 hours. Well, it's like 9.785, you know, because there's variances in the building as I'm working, but I've had it pulling a 1,000 watt load somewhat, and it's really close to 10, like I say, like within 15 minutes of 10 hours, because the batteries will cut off at their safety interval, so you don't super discharge them. But give or take, I only paid $500 for one battery, so it's $1,000 for both those batteries. And I'm thinking about getting a sailboat, a big old sailboat. I'm gonna probably put those batteries and this inverter on that sailboat when I sell all this stuff and move over to sea. But I haven't gotten that far yet. one thing at a time. But thank y'all for watching my YouTube videos. I appreciate it. I know I don't post a lot. I'm working on it. I got a new job, and things are starting to calm down for me just a little bit. I'm not as stressed out as I was. I'm going to try to carry on with this channel like I've planned on doing. I want to tell y'all to be safe out there. We're going into an El Nino in the United States here, so I have a feeling it won't be too much longer. People are going to start seeing way worse drought conditions than what we're already seeing, and I'm seeing a lot of lakes and stuff in the Midwest dry up, so we're not going to have a good time. And they issued on a side note, they issued a grid warning for the East Coast. The Duke Energy got permission to wind up their power plants past EPA standards to meet the demand for air conditioning in on the East Coast. So let them install a few more data centers, and I have a sneaking feeling we won't have no power here on the East Coast. They're going to start flipping all the breakers off to us over here. So like I said, be safe. Thank you for watching the Ugly Off Grid.